Okay, he's just about to make his request. Okay, he's just about to make his request.
Will the Sangha recreate virtue out of compassion for the sake of this assembly and all living beings? Present the wonderful Dharma will to teach us how to live suffering and attain bliss and end birth and death, and quickly realize non-birth.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one. Namo sadanto suchedoye olahudi sammyao sanputosye. Okay, together. 无上甚深微妙法，百千万劫难遭遇。我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。Supreme and wondrous Dharma, subtle and profound, rarely is encountered, even in a million eons. But now we see and hear it and accept it reverently. May we truly understand the Buddha's actual meaning. Venerable Master, Dhamma friends, welcome to our Sutra lecture this afternoon. It's 1:38 p.m. here in Benogan, Queensland, southeastern part of the state of Queensland, Australia. It's 7:38 in Berkeley, California, United States of America. And we're linking the two thanks to the miracles of modern technology and a lot of hard work on behalf of many hands. And I guess because we are our actual, the numbers of folks who are listening in China are more so than anywhere else. I should say, 欢迎各位参加我们今天的大放广佛华严经讲经说法的一个法会，希望各位能深入经藏，有智慧如海欢迎哈。那个是3个地方，现在一个地方是澳大利亚，就是我自己本身所做的地方，现在另外一个地方是伯克莱，加州，美国北加州那里，大家在那听，这个也会看视听这个用高科技的方式来参加我们的法会。另外呢，有一些佛友他们很发心，就在 Australia 在这里跟我一起那么我讲的英文，他们立刻翻译普通话，讲给 在国内在中国的佛友们听，所以这个是我们3个地方的一个讲经说法的法会。Okay, I have the organizer would like you to share your webcam. Would you like to share my webcam? It doesn't want me to do that, so. Okay, we're getting it all worked out, working it out together. Let me show everybody here what I'm seeing.
Father, sorry, I think, can you try again? It was working and then I sent the request, become not working.
Jerry, I can't hear. I'm sorry, your voice is too quiet.
Can you share your webcam again?
I'll try. Share my webcam. There. Vertical is good. Somehow I've got 2 webcams on my, there we go. Okay. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to invoke spiritual presence. We're going to invite the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas in. We do that by chanting the name of the sutra that we're going to explain, and also the assembly of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Jonathan, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor one more time. Would you mind handing me the guitar? There we go. Thank you very much. All right. Great. Now, we're going to do this with music, and we chant in Chinese. It's the second half, the lower half there. Is any way to make that bigger so folks can see it? 更大一点. Whoa, really big. See. That's the pit. That's a C. Okay, so I'm going to invite folks to put your palms together if you'd like to do that. And we use sound to make our invitation, but more important is that we use our minds, use our hearts to say, if in empty space the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the Avatamsaka Assembly would deign to do so, would they please come to take part in our assembly today? Here we go. Namo Da Fang Guang Fu A Yin Ji A Yin Hai Hui O Pu Sa Namo Da Fang Guang Fu A Yin Ji A Yin Hai O Pu Sa Namo Da Fang Guang A Yin Ji A Yin Hai Hui O Pu Sa Namo Da Fang Guang A Yin Ji Yen Hai O Pu Sa Namo Da Fang Guang Fu A Yin Ji A Yen Hai O Pu Sa Namo A Yin Ji one more time. Namo Fang Fu A Yin Ji A Yin Hai Wei O Pu Sa. Okay, that being done, we're going to move on. Last week, we got to listen to the praises, the songs being sung by the Devis, the female, the feminine gods, the gods in heaven who are female, goddesses known as Devi, the feminine of Devas, and they were praising the Buddha. And the sutra took us right into their song and gave us the lyrics they were singing. Pretty far out. And as these millions of beautiful sounds finished, there was a silence, and then a bodhisattva said, okay, the praises are over, we're waiting. We're waiting for you to tell us what we've come to hear, Vajra Treasury Bodhisattva. And there's a bit of an edge on that, because why? Because this bodhisattva got refused before. At the very beginning, same setup, one bodhisattva whose name is Moon of Liberation says, we're ready, we want to hear the 10 grounds, the 10 stages, Dharma. And the speaker of this text, Treasury of Vajra Treasury said, nope, not going to do it. And he was silent. He didn't respond. And they requested again, very formally, very politely, nope. And a third time, and then the Buddha stepped in. And the Buddha says, it's okay, relax. These people, humans and non-humans alike, are qualified. They can really hear the Dharma. So go ahead. And he did. You're not going to say no to the Buddha. No. So he said, okay, I will. Although I have my reservations, I'll go ahead and do it because you asked me to. Basically, that's it. So that put the kind of set the negotiations up for further lectures because it's long. That was the first stage, Dharma. Now we're at 9, and after every piece, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, they have to request again. So that 8th request was done, heard the Dharma. Now it's the 9th, and we're now on page 56 and 57. 56, 57. We're going to start with the Chinese that goes, 20金刚藏菩萨告解脱乐菩萨言. That's where we are. Yeah, so you can do half the page. There you go. And 往下20金刚藏菩萨告解脱乐菩萨言. Yes, right there. Okay. And then we just slide across for the English. Okay, so what am I doing? We've got two screens going on. We've got a screen there in Berkeley for everybody. And we also have a screen here in the Gold Coast where people are looking at the sutra text. Okay, for the first time in the 9th stage, we get to hear the voice of the speaker who's going to carry us through all the stuff he wants to give us, all the instructions, all the encouragement, all the cautions, all of the wonderful stuff that is about to transpire is about to begin. We ready? So I'm going to put my palms together again. We'll 不舍本愿大力. Let's see how far. Yeah, we go one line on page 58. So starting with Arsher, here we go. People are welcome to read with me. We're not going to try to do call and response because there's a lag, a latency in the distance involved from down under to up over. So read with me if you'd like to. Here we go. 20金刚藏菩萨告解脱乐菩萨言，佛子菩萨摩诃萨以如是无量智，思量观察，欲更求转胜，机灭解脱。复修习如来智慧，入如来秘密法，观察不思议大智性， 尽诸陀罗尼三昧门，具广大神通，入慈别世界，修利无畏不共法，随诸佛转法轮，不舍大悲本愿力。Next line， 得入菩萨第九善慧地。Good stuff. Over to the right. English, please. Okay, again, I'm going to invite everybody to join me. We'll read it together if you'd like to. Pay attention to the punctuation, which tells us where to breathe when we read together. A little bit of an art to it, but it sounds really good when we get it together. Watch the white space, take a breath during the white space, and let's go. Here we go. At that time, Vajra Treasury Bodhisattva said to Moon of Liberation Bodhisattva, disciples of the Buddha, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva uses limitless wisdom to reflect and to cultivate. He wishes to initiate a quest for the ever more supreme liberation of nirvana and further cultivate the wisdom of a Tathagata. Enter the secret dharma of a Tathagata. Contemplate the inconceivable nature of great wisdom. Purify all gateways to dharani and samadhi. Be endowed with vast spiritual abilities. Enter all the many different world systems. Cultivate the powers, the fearlessnesses, and the special dharmas. Follow all Buddhas in turning the dharma wheel, and not abandon the strength of great compassion's fundamental vows, and by means of these, master the Bodhisattva's ninth stage of wholesome wisdom. Oh boy, that's a lot. Let me say, by putting it in context, this is not beginner's dharma, right? We're at a very interesting point in Buddhism right now where lots of people are getting interested in mindfulness. Meditation, mindfulness meditation has become kind of like yoga has become in the last couple of decades, just everywhere, penetrating suburban homes, penetrating the, having its own stores where you can buy yoga clothes, especially for yoga, and just becoming something that everybody does. Well, prior to yoga, there was something similar that arrived from Asia in my lifetime, and that's martial arts. Martial arts, wow, kung fu, karate, Shaolin, and jiu-jitsu, and what else? Taekwondo, and Hapkido, and what else? Kendo, if you like swords, right? And I'm going to leave out a couple schools. They're going to be mad at me. Why didn't you mention? Choi Li Fut. Choi Li Fut. Okay, so I'll gather in China we laugh. It's all wushu, right? There's all basically wushu. So that was in my lifetime. There was a time when nobody ever, if you said karate and punched like this, everybody laughed at you. John Wayne, the cowboys, they just punched. They may be boxing a little bit, but boxing was considered fancy. They were just fist fighters, right? Or pull out a gun and shoot people dead. But as Asian culture came west, we learned about martial arts. And people thought, boy, that is cool. Oh, the influence of the TV show Kung Fu with David Carradine, right? Kung Fu. Oh, that was such an impossibly important. I mean, people tell me today they would never ever consider meditating if they hadn't watched Kung Fu, Caine wandering through the West. Well, the martial arts that he did was more like ballet. He was not a great martial artist, but it didn't matter. He wandered through the West looking for wisdom. And he gave birth to a lot of cultural memes like choose wisely, grasshopper, right? That all came from Kung Fu, one TV show. So, my goodness. All right, yoga was next. Yoga, because it's not limited to people who can kick and punch. It's softer, so everybody could pick it up. It's being taught seniors, being taught in all kinds of facilities for prisoners and the Navy and the Army. Yoga has become part of our culture. Now, what else? Meditation is the next one. And mindfulness is just been appropriated by the culture. I was told, I kind of doubted this myself. Maybe somebody can check this. I was told there are something like 1,200 mindfulness apps available on the iPhone store, or the if you have a Google phone. There's more than 1,000 different ways to use your phone to look deep into your life. So how interesting, okay? Maybe so. Maybe there's a lot. Anyway, the point is, what? It's time for people to go past the material realm into the invisible realm of the mind and its states. How interesting. So people would be drawn to finding out more. Let's go beyond mindfulness. What else is there? I like when I sit down and meditate, I slow down. I like that. I like what it does in my daily choices that I make when I look into my mind. That really gives me confidence. It gives me courage to go ahead and try things that I wouldn't try otherwise. Because why? I'm not afraid of my own thoughts the way I used to be before I started to meditate, people will say, right? So, pretty good. That's a good thing. Right here in the Gold Coast, we have a kids meditation group starting up. We've had our first meeting. In fact, they've actually done it once before. And what are the ages, Sam? 7 to 14 or something? 5 years old to 17, something, yeah. So we met with the parents, and I discovered, to my amazement, that in the local public schools, they have something called Mind Up, which means everybody in the classroom, it's up to the discretion of the teacher. Because at our meeting with the parents, we had 8-year-old Zach. Zach is a truth teller, red hair, and his teeth are just coming in. And Zach said, well, our teacher's supposed to do it every day, but she forgets mostly. And we do it like 3 times a month, maybe. You know. So, okay, so it's up to the teacher. But what does it mean? It means that if the teacher is on it and is like making it happen, the children in the classroom have 1 minute of stillness that they call meditation, mindfulness, before class. And that 1 minute is huge. That's fabulous. That young people from the adults in power, right? From the adults in authority are being encouraged to be quiet and listen in. Kids are smart, they're sharp, they're on it, they know what's happening. And if their mind is moving, they're gonna wanna know what's going on. What's going on next to me? What's he doing? What's she doing? And they'll ask questions, and they'll see the adults saying, this is okay, this is safe to do this. We encourage you to do this. That did not happen in the 60s when I was in grade school. No, we didn't mind up. There was no such thing as that would have been considered religious and therefore somehow unconstitutional. That's putting church and state back together instead of separating them, right? There would have been all kinds of outcry. Just the simple act of quieting the mind. But what the Christians happily have discovered is there is innate, homegrown Christian contemplation. It's not all Buddhist. It doesn't come from Asia. There's no yellow peril. There's no agenda, Buddhist agenda behind Mind Up. It's as Australian as Australia Day, which was yesterday. Pictures of kangaroos wrapped in Australian flags, right? So, yeah, it's now Australia. It has indigenous, homegrown, Mind Up meditation. Boy, I heard that. I was astonished that the young man, this 8-year-old Zach, is like, yeah, we meditate 1 minute. And I miss it when we don't, he said. So he owned it. It was his. How neat is that? More so than yoga, more so than martial arts. It's become Australian. So, and that's just in the last 5 or 6 years. Boy, oh boy, what a change. You wonder, where will we be in terms of our minds in 5 more years? Right? In 2025, what will it be like? Interesting. Disciples of the Buddha, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, uses limitless wisdom to reflect and to cultivate. Yes, he does. Key on limitless wisdom. That was not the case in 8 or 7 or 6. And he is reflecting and he's cultivating. Okay, this paragraph, which, mind you, we're repeating this. We've actually looked at this before when I was back in California, but I thought it was good to start from the top again so we can, as we get our 10 stages chapter moving, we can get the whole picture of the 9th stage. What is going on? This is motive. This answers the question, why? Why is the Bodhisattva interested in the 9th stage? Number 1, he wants to, and she, this could be feminine pronoun, add a women, if you choose to, put an S on that, and his becomes hers, okay? This is gender neutral language. We have to pick one, we can't do / she, he on everyone, so you add it yourself if you choose to, please. Identical, no different. He wishes to, here's the verb, initiate a quest for the ever more supreme. It says liberation of nirvana, add an L, typo. Liberation of nirvana. What does it mean to initiate a quest for the ever more supreme liberation of nirvana? It means he wants to be a Buddha. He's got the Buddha in front of his eyes, and he knows what that means, and he wants to get there. Him too, she wants to get there. Okay, 1, that's 1, notice that? Okay, number 2, another verb, further cultivate the wisdom of a Tathagata. Tathagata is in title of a Buddha, the one who has come like this. Further cultivate a Buddha's wisdom. Basically, same thing, wants to have the wisdom that a Buddha has. 3, motives. Why is this 9th stage happening? The Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, the great Bodhisattva, wants to enter the secret Dharma of a Tathagata. That word ru actually is there. It's there in the Chinese. Ru, enter, not so much. We're thinking more like master. Enter in the sense of merge with, like become the same as, that kind of enter. So integrate, like that. The secret wisdom, the secret Dharma of a Tathagata. What would that be? What's the secret Dharma of a Tathagata? The answer is, not going to tell you. It's a secret. Oh, quit teasing us. Right? The secret Dharma of a Tathagata. Oh my goodness. I thought it was all like public domain, right? Secret Dharma of a Tathagata. Okay, I'm going to Hey, Jinchuan, have you got a microphone? What's the secret dharma of the Tathagata? You got 30 seconds. Don't let us down. It's the secret microphone of the Tathagata. He can't find the microphone. Not only the secret dharma, the secret microphone.
Actually,
What do you suppose?
I mean, I don't know what it's referring to here, but I know in the Shurangama Sutra, the title of it talks about how it's kind of, I think they translate it as hidden. And it's not so much that it's...
Could you make it a little louder, Jinchuan? A little
Okay.
louder, please. Sorry.
It's not because that the Buddha is trying to be secretive, but it's just non-obvious. It's a dharma that's not, I think, apparent. I'm trying to, because I remember in this, the full title of the Shurangama Sutra, there's a mention of the me in that one as well, and it says hidden. And I'm trying to remember what was the explanation of it. So I don't know the answer right now, but I just remember a principle from it was that it's not that the Buddha is trying to hide things from us, but rather it's something that is not obvious to us living beings. We look at something, but we don't see, something much deeper that's there.
Excellent. Okay, I just added a microphone here. That's going to change the sound. In Berkeley. Okay, that was a skillful response. I put him on the spot on purpose just to see if he was paying attention. Sure enough, this is Jinchuan's, Dharma Master Jinchuan's response. Said, it's not that the Buddha is trying to hide something from us. He's got it, we don't. It's not like that. And he said in the Shurangama Sutra, in another sutra that we study a lot, they talk about secret causes, mi, yin, it's called in Chinese. And the problem is Buddhas and living beings are 2 points along a path. Living beings are not yet awake. Buddhas are living beings who are already awake, who woke up. And if we're living beings, one of the qualities of living being, means we're still covered over. The potential for awakening is all there, but it's like the sun behind the clouds, and the Buddha the clouds are gone and the sun is shining. Same sky, same angle, but cloud cover or uncovered. So from the point of view of living beings, it's covered, it's secret. From the point of view of the Buddha, it's completely there and apparent, ready to share. It's yours if you want it, if you pick it up, something like that. Jinchuan, would that pass? Is that what you had in mind?
Yes, but I just trying to remember what was this hidden cause and how the sutra explained it. That's why I don't remember.
It's a secret. You can't know it. It's a secret. It's like a Captain Midnight secret decoder ring. If you've got the ring, you can decode the magic code. Okay. So yeah, why are we playing around with this? That's a power word, right? Secret. Who's got the secret? If the priests have the secret, you have to pay them to get it. If the monks have the secret, you have to make them happy before you get the secret. Right? So there's power behind the secret. Pretty clear that's not what's being said here. It's that there are states of awareness that are not revealed until you certify, until you experience that awakening. Then what was invisible is now visible. Something like that. Okay? So, good enough. We'll give you an 8.7, almost a 9 out of 10 for that one. Here we go. How many was that? What does he want to do? He wants to initiate a quest for nirvana, cultivate the Buddha's wisdom, pretty much the same thing. Enter the secret dharma of the Tathagatas. 3, contemplate the inconceivable nature of great wisdom. Contemplate is a verb, so that means to look at. But you look at it with your mind instead of your eyes. The inconceivable nature of great wisdom. Great wisdom is bigger than you can think of. That's what it means. It's vast, and you can't put your mind entirely around it. Number 5, purify all gateways to dharani and samadhi. Okay, last time we went through this, we worked out on purifying gateways. That's opaque language. What does it mean to purify a gateway? You kind of think of a bucket and a mop and some spick and span, maybe a scrubber, and you're out there with your rubber gloves on purifying the gateway. Maybe a hose, you know. So that can't be right. We can't stop with purifying gateways and say we've translated. What's it talking about? Dharani. Dharani is a Sanskrit word, and it's language charged with efficacy largely because of its sound. It's vibration language. It's ultrasound, okay? We know what ultrasound is. It cleans your teeth. What's ultrasound? It's just vibrations, right? But it's so powerful, it can take the plaque off your molars here. That's sound charged with efficacy, right? It's sound that works, in other words. Dharani is like ultrasound, but it's charged by the Buddhas, and we don't know which Buddha, but it was at some point in the evolution of the Buddha's state, that dharani, that's the Sanskrit. The Chinese call it toloni. We kept the Sanskrit word for it. It has been passed on. So every morning, right here in this very Buddha hall, here, the community recites the Shurangama Dharani, the Shurangama mantra. So another word for dharani is mantra. And if you say, do those sounds have meaning? Namo sadanto suchedoya olahudi samya samputoshe. You can stretch it, say there are meanings attributed to them, but their function is the vibration, the sound, the positive sound. Now, in less technologically sophisticated times, back in times before things got plugged into the wall to alternating current, if you could recite a spell, you could make things happen. Most indigenous societies have spells, have sounds of power. My goodness, here in Australia, indigenous cultures sing geography, right? There are songs. If you want to know who you are and you belong to a tribe here in various parts of Australia, your identity comes from the songs you sing. And the elders pass on to the youngers their identities through their songs. And now the book has been challenged. Is it true? Is it false? But there's an author named Bruce Chatwin who wrote a book called Songlines. And he says that when you do walkabout in Australia, people who are in the lineage, who know, just set off walkabout. They set off into the bush, and their destination might be thousands of miles away, but they know where to go according to the songs that they have been taught. And the songs connect to lizards, and the songs connect to mantises and to crocodiles, to birds. And at the end of their journey, they arrive. Let's see here. Okay, I have a comment here. Wireless region. Okay, good. So, all right. So the comment is the quality drops when I use this, that they might be sharing the same 2.4 gigahertz band interfere. Okay, so let me try Can you, if I don't use the mic, is it okay? Can you hear me in the back? Good enough? Okay. So how's that? Is that better? We're doing an experiment here. Let's see how that works without the mic. Jinchuan, what do you say without the mic?
Yeah,
Better?
it's a lot better without the mic. Somehow with the mic, it sounds like you're
Without the-
echoing in some kind of
Oh, bummer.
uh,
Okay.
not like
All
a
right.
bell, but not so clear.
Okay. So better without the mic. Both audio and video are much better. Oh, wow. Okay. So yeah, we're learning. Okay. So what I'm doing is we're working with the motive, the Bodhisattva's motive. He wants to not purify gateways. What that means is he wants to learn. Dharani and Samadhi. And I'm working on the idea, there's this incredible aspect of Australian indigenous wisdom that has to do with your identity in the tribe, has a lot to do with songs that are passed on from generation to generation to generation. And they're connected to the land. They're connected to animals. And they're connected to your line, your father, your mother, and on back. And you sing. And you can navigate the landscape through song. So there's an example. I'm using that, and I apologize. I only know a teaspoonful about it, but I know it's incredibly powerful and ancient and a pure tradition. I'm using that as an example of sounds of power. Dharani is that. So we have another one, the Great Compassion Dharani. Namo Hula Dano Dola Ye, connected to Guanyin Bodhisattva. Buddhism, our particular flavor of Buddhism, keeps a songline tradition very much alive. We have people who recite the Great Compassion mantra 108 times a day. It takes about 2.5 hours to do it. I did that for 3 years, and it's another way of being, my goodness. Okay, so Dharani. In Buddhism, this culture of sounds with power is very much alive, very real. Our Bodhisattva wants to not purify gateways, he wants to learn, thoroughly learn about Dharani and also Samadhi. Now, what is Samadhi? Here we go again, another launching into another discourse on a Sanskrit word. What are we doing? We're finding out why the Bodhisattva is going to spend his or her time studying the Dijo, the ninth stage. Samadhi. Simplest way to describe it is state of meditation. This is mindfulness taken to mastery. Samadhis are specific states of integrating body and mind with a color, with a vibration rate. It all comes from stillness. The Chinese definition of samadhi is zheng, ding, zheng, shou, which we've translated a variety of ways. It means right, correct stillness, and right, you almost want to say yielding. The word is to receive, reception, receptivity, right listening, yielding, softening, accepting. All those words would work, but it's a way that the Bodhisattva, you, the meditator, puts yourself into stillness and softness so that, let's say, and in the process of doing that, your heartbeat changes, your breathing changes, your metabolism changes. We have a monk in our tradition, our grand teacher, Master Empty Cloud, Master Shuyan, who mastered samadhi. He'd meditate for 2 weeks. He'd meditate for 4 weeks. He'd meditate for 3 months and not move. He's still sitting there. The sun, the earth has turned on its axis 21 times. We've gone around the sun, right? And he's still meditating there. What in the world is going on? Something to do with samadhi. And when he would come out of that meditation, he would get his oil can out, oil up his joints, and he'd be right back. Hi, everybody okay? Good. Let's eat. I'm hungry. And no big deal. He was just in samadhi. But the result of that was when he needed to use decisive wisdom to solve a problem, he was right on it. He had the answer. The stillness created wisdom. The Buddha's original formula is what? Precepts, samadhi, wisdom. Wisdom comes from samadhi. Samadhi comes from your behavior, precepts. The result is you can solve problems like nobody else. And it's the right answer. Okay, so Master Empty Cloud could meditate like that, but he also had wisdom and was revered to this day as probably the most important monk in 200 years because of his stillness. He could meditate. He knew samadhi. All right, next one. That's 5, right? 6, be endowed with vast spiritual abilities. Wow. How does it say? It says, 广大神通, really powerful psychic abilities, which are, let's just go down them, I'll just name them. And this bodhisattva at the 9th stage has got them. Number 1 is the Deva eye. You can see into the heavens. Number 2 is the Deva's ear. You can hear sounds being produced from the hells to the heavens. Number 3 is you have knowledge of past lives in infinite detail, yours and others. Number 4 is you have knowledge of others' thoughts. You know what people are thinking. As the thoughts form, you're tuned in to them. What they say, right? Number 5 is what? Number 5 is called Shanzu. You are able to do things that are considered miraculous. For example, you can walk on water, you can dive right through the rock, you can fly through the air, you can reach up and touch the sun and the moon. Things like that. Miraculous, crazy, science says no, can't do it. Every bodhisattva at this stage considers this not miraculous, but necessary. That's number 5. Number 6, the last one, these psychic abilities, is considered the rarest one of all, the hardest one to master. What is it? You can turn your senses around so that they don't do what's called outflowing. Lo, Jin, Tong, all outflows are over. Which means what? It means your mind isn't greedy at all. You're content. You don't move out after things outside. You are contented. Can you imagine what that's like? And that sounds so ordinary, but it's the hardest one. You can see into the heavens, you can hear into the heavens, past lives, others' thoughts, these 18 Lohan, Shiba Bian, the Arhats, 18 transformations, flying through the air. Not a big deal. Being able to really control your mind, that's a big deal. So, okay, now I need to say, people hear these and they go, outrageous. We were back here doing mindfulness and you're talking about flying through the air. Where does it come from? From the Buddha's point of view, these are qualities every single human being, every single living being has these potentials. All there. They're all there. Nobody lacks them, but we don't develop them. If we paid attention to these potentials and developed them instead of doing the other things that we do, spending our time doing other stuff, we wouldn't have to go, that's so strange. Who can do that? That's magic. We would go, no, my uncle was really good knowing past lives. My auntie is the best at knowing my thoughts. It would be normal. It would be every day. Because why? We're hardwired to have these abilities, but we don't train them. We do other stuff. We go outside. We build machines. Right? We're great at externalizing the senses. We don't transform our senses. Funny. Maybe some kids who are doing mind up will continue and just develop it until these abilities just are totally under their control. Okay, that's number 6. Number 7, the Bodhisattva's motive for learning the 9th stage, he wants to enter many different world systems. Oh boy. Cultivate the powers, fearlessnesses, and special dharmas. Now, I told you this is advanced stuff, right? This is not beginning dharma. This is nearly graduated. The Bodhisattva is at 9. There's only one more stage before Buddhahood. One more stage, an intermediate stage, then Buddhahood. Okay, what are the powers, fearlessness, and special dharmas? These are qualities that a bodhisattva, I think around like the 5th, was it around the 5th stage? We started talking about these as being something bodhisattvas expected to master. The 10 powers, the 4 stages of fearlessness, and the 18 special Buddha dharmas. I won't go into them right now. It's a long list. But I will say the quality of these is they're all used to teach. What makes these something that a bodhisattva would want is if you got these abilities, you know what people are thinking, you know their potential, and you know what to say to them to get them to stop hurting themselves. Mostly. Okay, what does that mean? Well, once you've gone to Las Vegas, if you're not confused by the culture, when you go to Las Vegas, you see people taking a lot of poison and calling it sweet. 甘苦为乐 in Chinese, right? What's really misery, you see it as it is. Man, oh man, all you have to do, go to Reno, Nevada, and this gambling is okay in Reno and in Las Vegas, Nevada. Reno's in the north, Las Vegas is in the south. Drive from San Francisco, get on Highway 80 heading east, go through Sacramento, go over the Sierras. Now you're in Nevada. Here's Reno. Step into Harrah's Club and get one look at the eyes of the Chinese dealers behind the table. Why are there so many Chinese dealers in the casinos? Oh my goodness, so many of the people putting the cards on the felt, on the green felt, are Chinese. There's something about Chinese and gambling. We'll look into that some other time. The eyes of those dealers are scary. They are not friendly. They are there to separate you from your money. That's their job, and they do it day after day after day. And you go and you say, is this fun? What is it about gambling that we confuse with a good time? I don't know. I'm speaking personally. Maybe I should relax a little bit. And somehow, for me, going to Reno is just no fun. Going to Las Vegas is no fun. If it's fun, raise your hand and I'll lay off. I won't ruin it for you. We had some regulars at the Berkeley Monastery who came every week, and they listened to the Dharma, listened to sutras, and they were part of our community. They lived in Oakland. I won't mention their names. And came around, this was 1997 maybe? We'd just been there a couple of years. And came Christmas time, and we were doing Amitabha Buddha recitation. We had a big meditation session, recitation. And they didn't show up. They were gone for 3 weeks. And we're already now into January. Actually, this time, 20 plus years ago. And they showed up in the last week of January. And it's kind of funny, my first impulse was, they looked like a dog who had their tail between his legs, like a dog that had been punished for doing something wrong. Maybe, pulling the steak off the dinner table or something. They kind of crept in like this. Where you been? What's going on? Well, we felt a little embarrassed. Why were you embarrassed? Well, we didn't show up for a couple of weeks. Yeah, we noticed. Where were you? Well, it was a big bonus at the office. There was a lottery and we won. What'd you win? A week in Reno. Oh, yeah, a week at the casino. A whole week, huh? Yeah. How was it? Miserable. Why was it miserable? Well, we lost everything and got drunk a lot and got sick on the food and came home. We kept our car. We didn't lose our car, but we lost everything else. Oh, do you have fun? No fun. But you won the prize, and the prize was a week at Reno. Yeah, I really wish we hadn't, And we felt embarrassed to come back. So it's like, that's okay. We'll take you back. What did you learn? Well, we learned that America's playground is an advertising jingle. They say America, is that what they call Las Vegas? Is where America comes to play. That's it, where America comes to play. And man, oh man, 染苦为乐, this Chinese phrase, you mistake what is actually misery for pleasure. And the Bodhisattva at this point has gone to Reno and Las Vegas enough that he's ready to move on, right? That's the way I should say this. I don't want to dump on Las Vegas. I'm a Buddhist monk. I don't go to the shows. I don't go for the free liquor, free food, and the gambling, because that monks wouldn't do that, at least as far as I know. But if you're not a monk, how do you see that pull of lady luck? Lady luck, oh my. I was in the Broadway musical called Guys and Dolls. Guys and Dolls is about gamblers. Nathan Detroit is the hero. And he's got a song. Sky Masterson. Sky Masterson is the hero. He's the gambler. And I played Sky Masterson. He's got a song where he goes, luck be a lady tonight. Luck be a lady tonight. Luck, if you've ever been a lady to begin with, luck, be a lady tonight. Luck, let a gentleman see how nice a dame you can be. I know the way you've treated other guys you've been with. Luck, be a lady with me, right? And here's the boss of the gamblers singing a song to Lady Luck. A lady wouldn't flirt with strangers. She'd have a heart. She'd have a soul. A lady wouldn't make snake eyes at me when I bet my life on this roll of the dice. So let's be, let's see. Da 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 tonight. I forgot that last line, but I want you to point out the fact that that was 60 years ago. No, 55 years ago, and I still remember the second and third verse. What an affliction when you try to meditate and you're entering samadhi and up comes Sky Masterson's songs from Guys and Dolls. No fun, right? So let's keep the party polite. Never get out of my sight. Stick with me, baby. I'm the fella you came in with. Luck, be a lady tonight. Okay. Now I sang that song for you. I hope you appreciate what a sacrifice it was for me to enter the state of Sky Masterson, the gambler. Right? What's he doing? Lady Luck. He's still trying to court Lady Luck. And you know what? The house always wins. Who doesn't know that? The house always wins. But gamblers and we who gamble, what do? We think, tonight. Right? Tonight is different. Tonight, I'm going to be lucky. Oh, man. So, actually, Sky Masterson loses, but he wins the heart of Evelyn Brown. What's the name of the Salvation Army girl? Carrie Brown. Anyway, he wins the heart of the girl, and she's a Salvation Army worker, and they fall in love, and it's a great story. It's Guys and Dolls, Broadway musical about gambling. Oh man. So the Bodhisattva at this point says, been there, done that, got the t-shirt, don't have to do it again. That's actually not joyful to separate yourself from your money. Oh boy. We had a monk in our community, won't say his name. His dad lived in Las Vegas, and his dad ran a used car lot at the edge of town. And he became a millionaire. Why? Because people would drive into Las Vegas with all their money in a nice car, maybe a Lincoln Continental, maybe a Cadillac. And they would gamble and lose everything. And on the way out of town, they would pull into the used car lot and say, please buy my car. I want to sell it to you for everything it's worth. And the dad, I won't say his name, he would go, oh, you want to sell me your car? Okay, it's a nice looking car. I'll give you $400 for it. $400 is worth $4,000. I'll give you $350 for it. Okay, give it to me, $350, right? And he would buy these $4,000 cars for $350. And the guys would take that $350, turn around and go right back to the casino and lose it at roulette or at, 21 or Keno or blackjack. And so the used car dealer got wealthy on people's desperation to sell anything they had to go back and try one more go-round with Lady Luck. Oh my goodness. So yeah, the Bodhisattva here says, I would rather teach living beings about the nature of gambling and desire and the self, and anything I can do to help them wake up to the fact that gambling is bitter, the house always wins, I will do whatever it takes to help them wake up. So Bodhisattva learns the powers, the fearlessnesses, and the special dharmas. He follows Buddhas in turning the Dharma wheel. Okay, this is Buddhist language. One of our best images called the Dharma wheel. And there, you know, every religion has their symbols. Christianity has the cross. Oh my, the cross is so powerful. So much faith and hope and charity has come about because of the cross. Well, Buddhism has the wheel. The wheel has a whole variety of imagery, and it's got 8 spokes usually, talks about the 8 paths. Sometimes it's got 6 spokes. It talks about the eight spokes, talks about the eightfold path. When it's got 6 spokes, it talks about the 6 paths of rebirth, the 6 destinies. But the Buddha is said to put in motion the wheel of Dharma. And the wheel turns and it crushes things in its path: falseness, delusion, ignorance. So that's what the wheel does. And Fa Lun Chang Zhuan, they say, the Dharma wheel always turns. So it's funny, Master Hua didn't go much into the wheel as a symbol. I don't know if the Theravada did. Jinchuan, did you ever hear that? Did any of the forest monks go into the wheel as a symbol? I don't remember hearing it very much.
Yeah, I don't hear it very much either. I know in the Four Noble Truths, the first sutta that the Buddha spoke in the Theravada has the Dharma wheel heavily.
Yeah, the Chakravartin.
Yeah, that's the symbol. And exactly as you said, it kind of starts spinning.
Yeah, Jinchuan is saying that the first teaching the Buddha gave was on the setting the wheel of Dharma in motion, the Four Noble Truths. But in the Mahayana, not so much. We didn't hear about the wheel. Master Hua never gave us the wheel's implications. Maybe because it was kind of owned by the Theravada tradition, I'm not sure. Anyway, but here we have one of the motives of our 9th stage Bodhisattva is he wants to follow the Buddhas to turn the Dharma wheel. And have we got to 10 yet? He wants to, check this one, not abandon the strength of great compassion's fundamental vows. And because of these, master the 9th stage of wholesome wisdom. What would the fundamental vows of great compassion be? It's why he cultivates. Somebody asked me it was yesterday, when we were discussing the Bodhi Resolve chapter, Bodhi Resolve essay. That's the text that I explain on Saturdays here in Australia, Fridays in Berkeley, California. They said, why cultivate? And my answer, why do you keep going? And answer is in a single word: pain. Pain, suffering, misery, the blues, ignorance. When the fastest way to get me to move is to show me somebody being cruel to an animal. I was talking to Ben here the other day, and he's saying he's become soft. This is a guy who is a ranger, an army ranger, somebody who's highly trained to kill in a variety of ways, right, in the military. He says he's gotten soft. He, like me, can no longer watch vegetarian shock movies. There was a time when there's a whole bunch of movies designed to shock people into the awareness of factory farming and how cruel factory farming is. Just for example, the fact that an ordinary chicken may lay a couple, 3 eggs a week, maybe, but battery hens that are locked into these sheds to provide eggs for people to eat have to constantly produce eggs. They're forced into giving birth constantly. And as the chick emerges, if it's a male, if it's a rooster, not a laying hen, it is killed immediately, usually crushed alive, usually ground up alive. They just take the male chicks and they throw them into a grinder. That's how factory farming has evolved to deal with roosters, because why? Roosters are trouble. They don't lay eggs, they're territorial, they peck. So what do? Kill them immediately by grinding them up alive. And I used to watch those things and, want to circulate them so more people were aware the cost of eating eggs like that. And now I can't. And Ben was saying soft. It's like witnessing that kind of inhumane slaughter of living beings does something to my heart now. And it's too much, I can't stand to see what we do to sentient creatures who are related to us, who have the same DNA that we do, same nervous system, that have eyes that look back at you, that have moms that care, And boy, if that mother chicken is allowed to relate to her offspring, she will count them. There's a YouTube video of a mother chicken taking her chicks across the road and with the traffic going, and how she runs back and forth to get them all safely across the road and over the curb. And, it's a mother with her children. And so anyway, the point that I'm making is that will motivate me to figure out a way to communicate the reality of our relatedness. I want to make that clear. And I do that better as a monk. I get this bully pulpit, I get this microphone, and I get, folks are sitting here, and we're all in front of the sutra. So my job is to just air the sutra, put it out there so we can look at it and say, this is great. This is the oldest thing we touched today, is the Avatamsaka Sutra. It's been around for 2,500 years. In English, here it is, right here. It's in English, it's in Chinese, parts of it are in Sanskrit. But to be able to say, the Bodhisattva will not abandon the strength of great compassion's fundamental vows. What does that mean? Great compassion means he or she sees the connection. Fundamental vows means living beings are infinite, and even so, I want to take them across. Even those poor chicks, those rooster chicks that get ground up alive, they have the Buddha nature. They don't get to come into a body for long this time, but they will. They're going to escape the grinder. They're going to grow up and be good chickens. And then when their chicken karma is over, they're going to come back as maybe a turkey. When their turkey karma is over, maybe they come back as a kookaburra. Who knows? And somebody feeds them veggie ham and they hear the Buddha's name. And then they're going to leave the animal's realm entirely and come back as what? A human. And boy, did they have it in for the farmers who put them in that grinder. They're going to get, no, forget, let them go. Let it be, right? Yeah, you hope that they wouldn't seek revenge. But what's the karma of somebody who grinds up baby chickens? What's their next life? Yeah, oh my goodness. So, the strength of Great Compassion's fundamental vows says, I'm going to find a way, living beings are infinite. Even so, I want to wake them up. That's one of those fundamental vows. And afflictions are infinite, endless. I'm going to find a way to transform them to awakening. Methods of practice are boundless, and I'm going to find a way to learn them, every one. The ones mentioned in this one paragraph are incredible. If I could just do what this paragraph says the Bodhisattva wants to do, I would be able to teach in a way that people would go, that makes sense, I understand. Right? And Buddha's way is supreme, the highest path. I'm going to master it. By means of these, master the Bodhisattva's ninth stage of wholesome wisdom. There you go. So we spent a fair amount of time looking at the motive, why the Bodhisattva wants to master the ninth stage. He's going to use limitless wisdom to reflect and cultivate. He wants to initiate a quest. I'm going to go out and get the liberation of nirvana. I'm going to cultivate the wisdom of the Buddha, enter the secret dharma of a Tathagata, whatever that might be. It's a secret. Contemplate the nature of great wisdom that is inconceivable. You can look at it, but you can't contain it. It's beyond thought and language. He wants to master Dharani and Samadhi, learn those song lines to cross the continent without a map and get there right on time. Be endowed with means to bring out those vast psychic powers, the 6 ones we mentioned. Enter world systems, traveling beyond your body. Cultivate powers, fearlessness, special dharmas to teach. Follow the Buddhas to turn the Dharma wheel. And stick with those basic motives. Seeing suffering, determined to end it. And by means of these, master the Bodhisattva's ninth stage of wholesome wisdom. Hallelujah. May it be so. May this Bodhisattva do these things. And we, who are not Bodhisattvas but admire them, like, yeah, cool. What else are you doing on a Saturday night? What are we doing on Australia Day +1? My goodness. Praying for rain is what we're doing. Boy, it's so hot in parts of Australia that the flying foxes are falling out of the trees. We got them right here. They're fruit bats. They're the largest bat in the world, and they can't regulate their body heat. They're furry. They're really kind of cute. And when it gets to be a certain heat, they just die. And these fruit bats, these flying foxes, are responsible for pollinating the trees in the rainforest around us. And when they die off, it really, really, really impacts the ability of our bush, our Australian bush, to regenerate. So when it gets hot around here, it's not a joke. So let me ask Cliff, how many folks are listening in China? How many have we got? 多少人在收听？他在数一数. He's got a calculator here. We've got 2. We've got, what's it called? Menghou. We've got 2 networks going. 18 Shabbat. 60. 60. Okay, in YY we got 60 people in China. Look at Wow, China scale. 16. 16. Oh, more in Berkeley. So we got Berkeley scale now. We're competing. And he's doing the calculation for Weiho. There's some algorithm that we have to go through. It's amazing. So we have 2 Chinese networks happening. Jerry is going to give us 61 on YouTube. Haha, exactly the opposite. Sorry, YouTube is still winning. Come on, China. 加油,加油,多多听法. 42. Uh-oh. You add them together. China's coming ahead. Come on, YouTube. Okay. All right. There we go. This is great. Amazing. So YY.com is very turbid. There's all kinds of stuff on YY.com. And Weiho, we were turned on to that conferencing software, and apparently it's much less it's cleaner. So, all right, good stuff. Butcherbird, magpie. Is that a magpie right here in the Chan Hall? Great. Okay. Well, you know what? Our time has pretty much come to an end. I got a new guitar amplifier, which we've been auditioning here in our lectures this weekend, and it sounds really good. We have a pretty bird singing right here beside us. But yeah. Is that a magpie, do we think? Not a magpie. Butcherbird. Butcherbird, yeah. Very pretty. Thank you. Here's the kind of reality that happens where I live here. We're raising a kookaburra chick. And this is like the 3rd generation of baby kookaburra that's growing up in our trees around us, in our bush, our forest. And this is Ali the 3rd, right? So the baby is, for a long time, is kind of helpless, very cute, very fuzzy looking, and he depends on Dad to feed him. And Dad depends on me to get the veggie ham out there. So I get the veggie ham, cut it up, wash the salt out of it, and put it where Dad flies down, grabs it with his beak, and takes it up to the kid and feeds it beak to beak. And the baby opens his mouth and grabs the ham. And this process repeated 4 or 5 times until the baby's kind of full, So the baby's sound when he's hungry is aimed right at the heart of his parents. It's really hard to hear the baby kookaburra make his "I'm hungry" sound without wanting to feed him. He's so like, sounds so needy. And so when I hear that sound every day, I know that they've shown up because they live in a hollow, some gum tree somewhere. That means that the baby has come with the dad, and if I get out there with the ham, I can feed him. There are conditions here, which is there's another species of bird called the currawong. And the currawong is a big black bird related to magpies and butcherbirds. And he is an omnivore. He will eat anything. And they do. There are 3 of them. And if the currawongs are there and I put the ham out, they grab it first because they get really close. They're not afraid of me. Ali Jr., the dad, sits up in the tree and he has to come flying down and grab it and fly back. Before he gets down there, the currawongs have grabbed it. So it's got to be no currawongs are around when I'm out there with the ham. Okay, today, getting ready for the lecture, I hear the sound. Oh, the baby's here. He's making his noise. So I go running in, grab the ham, wash it, chop it up, go out there. Here's the baby in the tree, and no currawongs anywhere. So it's perfect conditions, except his mom brought him out today. And the mom doesn't come down to get the ham. The dad is nowhere to be seen. So mom is on the feeding duty, but she doesn't feed him ham. She feeds him salamanders and, skinks and baby snakes and stuff that she gets for him. She's into natural food. She doesn't like this processed stuff. She's probably a vegan. She's a vegan. No, it wouldn't be restaurant. No, she's a meat-eating vegan. She's a pure meat-eating. Anyway, so I got the ham and I set it down there, and the chick is going, and I'm looking at Mom, come on. And she's like, not you.
She's a whole.
And it's, come on, chick, you've seen Dad do it enough. Come on down. Here it is. Baby's, somebody's going to feed me. I can't eat it myself. It's like, oh no, there's drama going on. So I couldn't talk the mom into coming down, and the baby doesn't know how. He's got to be fed by an adult. And so, didn't work today. So, we're pulling for the kid to grow up and mature to feed himself, but it's just not yet. He's too young. Who would think? All this drama. So I recited the Buddha's name and gathered the ham back up, and we'll do it another day. Daddy didn't show up today. And Mom is like, doesn't want to have anything to do with the humans, even if they're wearing precept robes. So, So anyway, okay, let us hear from either Jin Chuan or Jin Fo or is that Jin He in the back, about what's going on. Hi there, Jin He, sure. What's going on at Berkeley? You want to make some announcements?
So tomorrow we have a one-day Amitabha Buddha recitation session, starting
One-day Amitabha session.
Starting from 8 a.m. going to 4:30 p.m. This will be a lunch
8 a.m. till 4:30.
free event, meaning that we won't be serving the lunch here in the monastery. People are welcome to join.
It's a lunch-free event.
But not a free lunch, a lunch free.
Don't forget to feed the monks.
Yeah.
You get lunch free, that's right. But you got to feed the monks all the same. The monks still have to eat.
The monks will receive the
So
offering
not
as normal.
entirely.
But we won't provide lunch. There's vegetarian restaurants in the area. People can bring a bag lunch. We found that this is a very effective method to allow everyone to cultivate, especially our kitchen staff. We did a little bit of practice with the kitchen staff. We didn't have lunch, and the kitchen staff all cultivated with everyone together and was very vigorous, because usually, our very vigorous cultivators are, you could say, end up going into the kitchen to feed everyone else. So we wanted to bring them in.
That's right.
So, people are welcome to come tomorrow to join us for a day of recitation. Though I think the DRBU classes and various events are starting for the following week. So
University classes are starting. Yep.
So Monday, I think we have the Amelia's class has started. Has it? They have to check the schedule. I'm not 100% sure exactly which days each one is.
Okay. When does Marty's class begin?
That one I'm not sure. I know it didn't start last Friday, but anyone know about this Friday? 2 Fridays from now, on the 8th. So
2 Fridays from now, we'll have the Sixth Patriarch Sutra lecture. Good.
And then, but the Stephen Tainer's class is Wednesdays is happening, and Thursdays the Insight East Bay Insight Meditation Group is meeting, and I think that's it. There's no other events you can foreshare.
Okay. Our regular weekly schedule at Berkeley Monastery is starting. Okay, here just for anybody who's listening in, Gold Coast, we've got Chinese New Year's, which is the 4th of February evening at 7 o'clock. There will be the ceremony, and then the next what's the bell ringing day is? So the morning of February 5th, Chinese New Year's, we have a big Shurangama mantra bell, Shurangama Sutra bell, mantra bell, which is sitting out there under a platform. We ring it twice a year with, reference to the neighbors. And the 5th of February, if you want to come and send out your wishes for auspiciousness and a year full of joy and blessings, come and ring our bell. We ought to make a bigger deal out of it, right? 昼吉祥，夜吉祥，就业60行吉祥，bong. We should tell people all the good stuff that comes when you ring the bell. And have the neighbors go, don't believe a word of it. All you do is wake us up too early. It's, So it's all perception. Okay, I have some news, which is I'm going to be explaining the Vajra Prajna Paramita Sutra, the Diamond Sutra, on Friday afternoons in California, Saturday mornings here in the Gold Coast. I've been able to find a lot of the materials. I found Cleary's book on Kindle. I found Konza's translation for sale. I bought it from an old bookstore. And we've got Master Hua's a simple explanation published in 2003, which I'll try to work on. Let's see. I've also got Red Pine. I found Bill Porter's translation, which will be helpful. But any materials you want to send my way there, Jinchuan, that would be very helpful. Okay, with that all in mind, everybody, thank you for joining here, live audience. Thanks to everybody in China. 每位在国内的佛友在旁听，就参加我们的讲经说法的法会呢，欢迎你们每个礼拜都参加，我们都这样研究了，也是感恩我们的义工把我们翻译了，就很难得了啊！我们希望大家都可以明白华严经的菩萨的心肠，他们大公无私的为法忘躯的精神来研究第9地啊！所以呢，大家能参加，欢迎，非常欢迎。Okay, so welcome everybody to join in to follow the spirit of the 9th stage Bodhisattva who wants to teach living beings any way he can. And if the Las Vegas Chamber of Commerce pickets these lectures and says, you shouldn't do that. You're bad for business. Omitofo. That's right. I'm afraid I am. If they want to listen to Sky Masterson sing Luck Be a Lady Tonight, there's all kinds of benefits to these lectures. Who knew? Okay, let's transfer the merit and see you all next week. Here we go. Through the new amplifier. May every living being, our minds as one and radiant with light, share the fruits of peace with hearts of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see how hands and hearts can find in giving unity, may our minds awake to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward. May all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless light dispel the darkness of their endless night. Because our hearts are one, this world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise. Jin Chuan Shi, you want to help everybody bow? Okay, we'll see you all next week. Amitofo, everybody. Bye-bye.
阿弥陀佛。